Good morning, everybody. Hope this is working. Wanted to show you what was happening in the orchard on this July 4th. This is a pineapple guava tree, and when I purchased it, it was like a topiary, which means it was really heavy at the top and on a long stem. Paid about 60 bucks for it from Home Depot. But the pineapple guavas are amazing, and something that's amazing about them is that you can actually eat the flowers. And it just started to flower, and they're delicious. They taste really similar to the fruit. Now, what's so miraculous about this pineapple guava is that in our area, once they're established, they take almost no care whatsoever. They're very drought resistant, and they will get huge and produce a huge amount of fruit, and the entire part of the fruit is edible. And you never see them at the grocery stores because they're just one of those fruits that goes from ripe to rotten very quickly. So you have to freeze them or process them really quickly. But last winter, as you know, we had a pretty bad winter here, and we're looking for a repeater worse this winter. And there's this huge rainstorm, and I had this covered to kind of protect it from the cold. And the wind was coming through at 60 to 80, and I looked out in the orchard, and this had been snapped completely, like laying on the ground. And I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? So I run out, and it's pouring rain. I'm by myself, and with one arm, I'm holding up the tree and trying to stake it. And with the other, I'm using a combination of gibberellic acid and some other hormones and putting it in the wound of the plant, which was about here, and wrapping grafting tape and just hoping for the best. But sure enough, she survived. And not only did she survive, and she's coming back strong, but she's actually in bloom and making fruit. And here's her sister pollinator. This is a bush form of the pineapple guava, which I think we got on sale. It was like half dead somewhere. And we transplanted this from the other property because there wasn't enough sun at the other property. And the redwood roots, because we lived in the redwood forest, were just way too competitive and stealing all the nutrition and water from it. But now that it's been in the ground for a year or so, look at all the flowers. I just can't wait for guava season. And I just got a couple new guava trees from a new nursery source, which I'll share with you soon. I got lemon guavas, a pink guava, which I have in the ground already, and she's rather beautiful. I got this from Four Wind Growers, and I got strawberry guava. So yeah, hopefully they're all going to survive up here. I'm playing around, I'm pushing the limits. Technically, we're a zone 9 to 10, but we also get some really hard freezes here. We get freezes, we get frosts, which is why we're able to grow some rather good cherries, which is surprising. But at the same time, with the tropical fruits, or the fruits that need the warmer and are frost sensitive, I have to cover them up. But I'm looking at climate change, and I'm trying to get ahead of things in regards to climate change. And I just think, as we all know, things are heating up a lot faster than what is logical. Look at these cherries. These taste just like those super sweet, perfect Michigan cherries. So this is I played around with different bird netting, and I find that this heavy mesh bird netting versus the netting with the holes in it is a lot more effective and does a lot less damage in the trees. It doesn't get tangled up in every little branch and what have you. And I've been really, really happy with it. And of course, it protects from insects also. Temu is actually carrying this netting. You'll have to compare it with the prices online. But yeah, I babied this tree this year, and she seems to be really happy. And we're getting quite a few cherries from her. Olives are going to produce this year. Olives produce every other year. I've got 3 nice sized trees. This is the smaller one, but they did take a hit. If you can see, she's kind of droopy. They took a hit because we had a snow, which is really rare here. And not just a snow, but a heavy snow. And so I did lose some branches, and it just kind of weighed her down. So I'm gonna have to get some stakes and support her, because not only are the olives blooming this year, this is a calamari, they are full of like flowers as I've never seen before. And I'm just curious, I know they don't need a lot of water. And I know here at this orchard, they were put in and designed as a dry orchard tree, meaning they've never been watered artificially. They only had natural rain. But I feel like they need that little bit of extra water to produce larger olives, because the olives are very tasty. They were very small. That's my first avocado I have in. I'm trying 3 different varieties of cold, hardy avocados. This is the one that many of the locals grow up here, called a bacon avocado. I also have a Mexicali, I believe it's called. It's a cold tolerant Mexican avocado, which will be going in the ground soon. It is a very small tree. That's what's difficult about buying fruit trees online anymore. They're very expensive, and often they're just so small. You get it and you're like, ugh. This is a jujube. It's basically a kind of a Chinese date. And they're very healthy for you. They dry them and put them in soups and teas and what have you. And it's coming back to life, which is really exciting. It struggled terribly in our old property. Oh, it's got flowers. I need to get another one, though, of a different variety, because that needs someone to cross-pollinate with. And every time I try to find one of a different variety, they're sold out. So they tend to be really popular, especially with the Asian population here in the US. I could go on and on and on. Oh, finger limes. So this is a wild citrus that originated in Australia, and it produces these crazy finger-shaped limes. You can kind of see them. Oh, let me get from the other sun direction. You can see it here. And they're extremely expensive to buy if you can find them. They're also known as caviar limes. And when you break one of these open, it looks like fish eggs inside, except it has this flavor of really delicious lime. Now, as you can see, my trees are nothing to brag about. They are struggling because of the freezing cold winter, prolonged, damp, cold winter we've had up here. All of our tomatoes and summer vegetables are at half of where they should be usually. So the same with these guys, because they love hot weather, and they're not really bushing out and growing much. So fingers crossed that we're going to get some heat eventually. But that's a really neat exotic fruit to play around with. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. Really, I just wanted to show you the guava fruit in bloom and show you that it was edible. And I'll bring you back to the orchard another morning and show you what else we have going on here and some other exciting news. All right, take care of yourselves, and happy 4th of July.